Peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel once again, where I help guide you along your wellness journey towards a more holistic and natural way of not only living, but also healing as well too. And in today's session, you probably guessed it, we're going to be talking about okra water, okay? What are the benefits of okra water? What would happen if you drink okra water 5 days straight, okay? 5 days straight, all right? And this video came from a friend who came over and saw me drinking okra water and asked, why the hell would I drink some slimy water? And as I sat down with them and explained, I had been doing this for almost 8 years, and all of the benefits that I've been experiencing as a result of doing this, then they felt like we weren't even friends anymore. So I'm going to be sharing it with you today, inspired by them. So shout out to them. All right. But before we get into that, I'm going to explain to you at the end not only how I made this, all right? I'm going to explain to you how much to drink. I'm going to explain to you when you should drink it. I'm going to explain all of that stuff at the end, so stay tuned towards the end, okay? Now, before we get into that, I think it's important to start with the beginning, okay? Okra originates from West Africa, okay? Depending on how you look at it, some people call it a vegetable, but because it has seeds, I consider it a fruit. And some people consider it a fruit for that reason, because that's the very definition of a fruit, is the presence of a seed, okay? And what's beautiful is that when our ancestors were involuntarily taken from West Africa, brought to the Americas, many of us were already here in the Americas. And so when we traveled, we would take these seeds and put them into our hair, okay? Sometimes we call them cornrows. We would put those seeds into the hair and bring those seeds along with us and plant our new plants when we came here. We understood how powerful food was. We understood that food was medicine. It was medicinal. And so a lot of the benefits that I'm going to explain to you today is going to help you understand why they understood this was one of the fruits, the vegetables that they had to bring with them, one of the seeds that they had to have. And I want you to think to yourself, if we were moving to a whole nother planet, Sirius B, okay, Nibiru, okay, what seeds would you take with you, okay? And okra is definitely one of those for me, because it's always been one of my favorite veggie / fruits. And so when I found out all the benefits, it only made sense that I continue the regimen that I'm going to share with you in just a second. Okay, so important to know, this is how you use food as medicine. When you understand the benefits, understand when you use it, and also understand how to use it, now this is how you get actively involved in using food as medicine, because a lot of times how we prepare our food actually takes away all of the medicinal benefits. Okay, so that's hugely important. All right. A lot of times how we prepare our food, especially if you are charring, cooking, frying okra, you're killing away a lot of the benefits. That's hugely important. All right. So a lot of people will think to themselves, hey, I eat a lot of okra, so I'm good. No. So this is totally different. All right. And I think that's really important to add to the equation. All right. So without any further ado, let's get into it. What would be the benefits if you drink okra water every day for 5 days? Okay, number one, improve digestion. Okay, now everybody knows that okra can be a little bit slimy, especially if you either steam it or slightly sort of cook it on the stove in hot water. Okay, but that sliminess that you see is a compound called mucilage. Okay, that is a type of soluble fiber. Okay, a type of soluble fiber. Okay, this is the type of fiber that is very healing to the gut. Now, imagine this for a second. Most of the times when people have issues, okay, we're going to get this out of the way for a second. All right, most of the times when people have issues with their gut, just think about it. All right, they're constipated. All right. Think about when people are having irritable bowel syndrome, an upset stomach, an upset gut, bloating, gas, all of those type of things. A lot of that is stemming from inflammation. Okay. Now I want you to think about that mucilage, or that little slimy stuff that comes from the okra. that is basically putting out the fire, okay? It's highly anti-inflammatory to put out the fires, okay? So that's why it's so good for the gut. So if you got a condition like irritable bowel syndrome, you got upset stomach all the time, this okra water is going to be perfect for you. So one of the benefits that you're going to see is improved digestion, not just from the sense of, not having issues, not feeling issues, but also you're going to notice an increase in your bowel movements as well too, because fiber is absolutely required for you to have a bowel movement. Without fiber, there is no bowel movement, okay? Hugely important, all right? So that's number one, improved digestion. Number two, stabilizes blood glucose, okay? So this is for my people out there who either are pre-diabetic, diabetic, or it runs in your family, okay? This is something I instituted because on both sides of my family, there are people with diabetes, all right? And so one of the cool benefits of okra water and that you will experience in this 5-day challenge that I'm issuing you is, or I issue to myself, is that it lowers the fasting glucose, okay? It also corrects the blood sugars from having those peaks and valleys where they spike and then they drop off. Because every time it spikes, you feel the energy, and then when it drops off, now you're very fatigued. Okay, so it's going to take away those spikes, which are very dangerous. Okay, that's the most dangerous part about being a diabetic, is the spikes in your blood sugar, and it decreases those. It's also very rich in polyphenols and flavonoids, which help control the blood sugar as well too. All right. Now that's going to lead into some other things that also benefit from the very same polyphenols and flavonoids that we'll talk about later. But controlling your blood sugar isn't just important if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. It's also important if you don't want to become pre-diabetic or diabetic. Hugely important. And it's also important because this is what's going to help you maintain a healthy weight as well too. All right. Number three, flushes out the kidneys, because this okra water acts as a natural diuretic. And one of the biggest issues that people have when it comes to high blood pressure and kidney issues is the fact that the kidneys aren't properly flushing themselves. Okay, so, the kidneys get rid of what? Urine, okay? And it makes this uric acid. It's taking the acid out of the blood. All right. If you're not flushing your kidneys, then the concentration of uric acid or acid is increasing in the kidneys. This is why you see people have stage 1, then stage 2, then stage 3 kidney disease. Okay. And guess what? The okra water flushes out the kidneys. So that's a huge benefit that you will see along that 5-day journey, or I saw along that 5-day journey. Number 4, a boost in energy. Okay. And a lot of this is coming because it's controlling the blood sugars. Also because this type of water, this is structured water. Okay. And what I mean by structured water, this is water that has structure to it. It's not like that water you're getting out of your tap. Okay. So it's super hydrating you. Okay. Instead of all of this water being around the cells or inside of the cells and making the cells all puffy, which then makes you very sluggish, okay? And when your cells are sluggish and your blood flow is sluggish, so will you, okay? This is fatigue, okay? So this is why when you start to drink the okra water, you're gonna start to see an energy boost, okay? So that's another plus of it. Number 5, you're gonna see a skin glow up, okay? Part of this is coming from the flushing out of the kidneys because it's flushing out toxins from the body, okay? Also is because you're super hydrating yourself as well too. And when the skin is super hydrated and the toxins are coming out readily, okay? Because essentially the skin is the third kidney, okay? But if the 2 first kidneys are doing their job, then the skin is gonna look good. But your 2 kidneys aren't doing their job, then that's when you're gonna notice the skin has blemishes, it has acne, it has rashes, it just does not look good. Okay, so you're gonna notice a skin glow up. Your skin is gonna pop. And this is perfect, just in time for the summertime, okay, to get your skin to popping. All right, so That's a huge benefit as well too. And it's not just your skin, it's your hair and nails as well too. All right, so it's a huge benefit for hair, skin, and nails. Okay, so a huge benefit for that as well too. Number six is it boosts immunity. And part of that is because the okra water is loaded with antioxidants. Okay, it's loaded with phenolic compounds. Okay, it's also antibacterial as well too. And that antibacterial effect can affect E. coli and can affect staphylococcus as well too. All right, so as soon as you're drinking this okra water, you're not only glowing up your skin, you're not only increasing your energy, improving your digestion, balancing your blood sugars, but you're also boosting your immunity as well too. And a lot of people have low-grade infections that they don't even know about that is causing their immune system to become overworked, which is leading to you being more fatigued and also leading to a lot of tissue degradation as well too from all the inflammation from your immune system trying to protect you. So that's hugely important as well too. All right. Number 7 for the ladies. All right. Ladies, you're going to love this one. This okra water is very, very not only important, but also impactful on your hormonal balance and your fertility as well too. All right. What do I mean by that? It contains a lot of phytoestrogens. These are natural estrogens, okay? Now, the unfortunate thing about the climate today is a lot of women are suffering with what is called estrogen dominance, but a lot of those estrogens are coming from birth control pills. A lot of those are coming from plastics. A lot of those are coming from pesticides. A lot of those are coming from phthalates and also parabens that are in hair care products, skin products, etc. A lot of them are fake estrogens. Okay, they call them xenoestrogens. All right, those fake estrogens tell your body to stop producing estrogens. Okay, so now you're loaded with fake estrogens, which is making you estrogen dominant, but you're not even producing natural estrogen. Well, the benefit of drinking okra water is that not only is it going to help flush out some of these toxins, but it's also going to give you a natural estrogen in your body. And this is going to help with your menses cycle every month. So if you're having a lot of issues, and this is one of the things that when I share with friends and family and people around me to start drinking the okra water, if they had every month PMS pain, every month they saw an improvement with it. Okay. If they had irregular periods, it sort of made their periods more regular. Okay. In Africa, they would drink okra water if a woman was pregnant and she was trying to sort of get the pregnancy to move along, they would drink okra water as well too. So it's good for that as well too. It's loaded with folate and B vitamins. And one of the vitamins deficiencies that quite often pregnant women have is folate. Okay, folate is not only important for the actual pregnancy itself, but it's also important for the fetus as well too. Women who are deficient in folate, we see that a lot of issues happen with the fetal development as well too. So it's really good for that as well too. And it's also good for women who are going through postmenopausal symptoms like mood swings and hot flashes as well too. Okay, so I know at this point you like, this sounds like a godsend for those who are suffering with those issues. All right. So okra water is good for that. All right. Number 8, it promotes weight loss as well too. Part of that is because it's loaded with that soluble fiber that I told you about, the gel that you see. Part of that is because it's hydrating you, and the more hydrated you are, the more you're apt to lose weight. Part of that is because it's stabilizing the blood sugars, which means that it's stabilizing your insulin, which is a fat storage hormone. Okay, the more your blood sugars increase, the more insulin you're going to produce. And you don't have to have diabetes or pre-diabetes to have elevated blood sugars. Okay, or you could have normal blood sugars and your insulin levels are high. Okay, and that as long as your insulin levels are high, it's going to tell your body to store fat. Okay, so it's a combination of those things that help to promote weight loss as well too. All right. And then number 9. Now, this is a benefit Number 9 is a benefit that is good for the ladies, especially, and the fellas. Okay? So this is hooking everybody up. All right? And this is what I mean. In terms of this benefit for the fellas, I'll tell like a lot of my married friends, when they come to me with problems, libido problems, dryness problems, and I'll tell them to do the okra water, okay? And the reason why I tell them to do that is because the okra water is like, for my friends, I'll tell my friends, I'll say, hey, okra water is like buying lingerie for your wife, okay? It's for her, but it's for you too, okay? Same thing with okra water. You and your wifey start drinking this okra water together, it's going to turn a desert into a waterfall, okay? You can thank me later, okay? So that's a huge benefit again. And it also, again, it increases libido for both women and men, okay? So if you're struggling in that department with a little bit of libido or trying to get the fires going, perfect solution for that as well too, no pun intended. All right, so that is what the okra water will give you in terms of all of the benefits if you drink this for 5 days, okay? So I just suggest try it for one day and see how it goes. So let's talk about how to use it, how to make it, all right? One, what I did was I filled the jar half full with the okra, okay? So this okra you see here, I just put it to the halfway mark in the jar, all right? Then you fill the jar to the top with natural spring water, okay? So natural spring water, fill it up to the top. Now, you only need to drink 16 ounces a day, all right? This is a 32-ounce jar, all right? I go overboard, that is not necessary. But you only need to drink 16 ounces a day, all right? And what you can do is you can actually drink half of it, all right? And the cool thing is this is really half, even though it's 32 ounces, because I filled the jar up with the okra, all right? So that's what you can do. Now, you have to do this the night before, because the night or day before, because it requires you to soak it for at least 12 to 24 hours so all of those medicinal components can come out of the okra, okay? So you gotta soak it for at least 12 to 24 hours. That's really important. Now, a lot of people are concerned about, hey, I don't like the idea of drinking slimy stuff. If you wanna, I'm concerned about the taste. To be honest, to me, and my taste buds are different from everybody's, just like yours are different from mine. It tastes like water to me. The only issue is that some people are concerned with the texture. For me, it's not a problem. But if you want to add a slice of lime or a slice of orange to it to change the taste and kind of get your mind going somewhere else, you're welcome to do that, all right? The other thing, really important, you drink this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. That's where they saw all the benefits. If you drink this throughout the day or you drink this after lunch, the benefits tend to go down because it's stuck in digestion. But if you drink this on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, this is where you see all of those benefits that I talked about before, okay? So the first thing in the morning, you want to go ahead and get this down, okay? Hugely important. Now, the other thing that I'll say is that you can either make this daily, like this, where you're making it 24 hours before, or you can make a large pitcher, and then that way you can sort of go ahead and, filter it out. That way you're not getting, some of the okra in there. So you can make a large pitcher as well too. For me, it tends to last about 6 to 7 days, okay? But I would recommend that periodically you go and put it in the coolest part of the refrigerator, one, and then secondarily, periodically just check it. And checking it, just looking at the consistency of it, and then also smelling it. And then the last thing that I always tell people is that we don't waste anything around here, okay? So once you finish this okra, it's time to eat it, okay? So you drink the water, and then you can prepare and eat the okra, okay? So Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. You learned a lot today about all of the benefits, not just number 9 that I mentioned last. And then hopefully you'll come back, comment below. If you've already tried it, tell me some of the benefits that you experience. If you're going to try it and you're along your journey, come back and tell us what kind of benefits that you experience along your journey as well too. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's all I ask of you. Hit the like button, share this so that we can get this kind of information out. People need to know what food as medicine or plant medicine is. And this is a perfect example of what that is. So until the next time, peace and blessings and Godspeed.